now. Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome to the first ever live stream for the Anime Tea first YouTube live stream. My name is Phoenix. I am the host of the Anime Tea. I run the podcast as well as this YouTube channel where I talk about explanations, recap videos, and recommendations for anime. Today we're going to be breaking down 4 major fights from the first half of season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is one of my favorite anime from the end of last year, even right now. It has great iconic fight scenes, awesome characters, and a little bit of humor, which is like the perfect combination for a great shonen show. So today, breaking down 4 fights. There's going to be no manga spoilers. I'm specifically going to be talking about the anime and breaking down parts of the anime. And I'm only covering the first half of season 1, which is like episodes 1 through 13. So none of the new stuff that came out this past winter season. And I'm going to specifically be breaking down the specific moves, fighting styles, and explaining some of the techniques from each of the battles in the fights of Jujutsu Kaisen. If you're new and you're joining the chat, make sure to put down, introduce yourself, write your name, who's your favorite Jujutsu Kaisen character. I think mine is, it's a mix, it's either Gojo, Yuji, or Nanami, I don't know. I really love them all. I love all of the characters. But those 3 for sure are my favorite. Quick breakdown of just what Jujutsu Kaisen is, in case you don't know and you're watching this for some reason, even though there's going to be spoilers for the first half of the season. So be aware of that. Jujutsu Kaisen follows a young boy named Yuji Tadori. He is a high schooler who comes into contact with a cursed item and ends up eating the item to, save his life. He gains the powers of a crazy powerful curse named Sukuna, and gets taken in by a high school for shamans and trained to use his power until they decide to kill him, basically, because he has a super powerful curse within him, and they don't know if they should kill him or use him. So he's in a very interesting predicament. And yeah, it sounds like a good time. As we go along, feel free to leave your reactions in the comments, and I'll try to read a few as we go on. But let's get started with the first fight. One of my favorite fights. All my favorite fights have to do with Gojo, of course. But in episode 2, we get Gojo versus Sukuna. So let's get into it. Moving my head out of the way. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so in episode 2, Gojo versus Sukuna, Gojo asks Yuji to let Sukuna have control for 10 seconds. This is right after Yuji devours the Sukuna's finger and, gets his powers and stuff, but he's able to kind of control it. And Gojo's like, let's see how well you can control it. So he tells him to switch with him for 10 seconds. Yuji does. Gojo does some extra, unnecessary stuff, like sitting on him and, showing off because Fushiguro is there, and he's like, oh, I need to show off in front of my students because I'm, awesome. So, but though he seems, careless and reckless, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's one of those where he's, kind of flamboyant, all over the place and does too much, but he knows what he's doing, and he's strong as heck. So, pause. Let's flip to the video. Boom. I need a better way to do this, but this is my first time, so be patient. Yeah. So, yeah, the whole time Gojo's controlling the fight, even without actually touching Sukuna. He's able to like control the fight, and we're gonna talk more about Gojo's like infinity and the infinity surrounding him and stuff on in later fights. But yeah, so Sukuna's super annoyed by this. He tries to attack Gojo head on and take him out like with the one hit, but Gojo like deflects it, and after he deflects it, he waits for Yuji to take control again. Pause again. Yeah, I definitely have to come up with a better way to do this. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, basically, Gojo takes Sukuna out, like knocks him out, waits for Yuji to regain himself back, and then that's when they take him to the school and tell him that he's gonna die unless he can control all of Sukuna. So that's great. But definitely one of my favorite fights. It's the very first main fight that we see between like a super strong curse and a super strong shaman or jujutsu sorcerer. Let me check the chat real quick. How's anyone doing? Okay, awesome. Let's keep going. We're gonna move on to number 2, which is not this one. We're going to flip it real quick. Flip, flip, flip. Yeah, okay. So the second fight that I wanted to bring up is Fushiguro versus Sukuna, which is a super fun battle. I wanted to bring it up because, let me switch to it. Yeah. Oops. I paused it. Okay. I wanted to bring it up because I think it's a cool fight. We saw in episode 2 more hand-to-hand combat, even though, Gojo didn't technically touch Sukuna, whatever. But it's more hand-to-hand combat fighting style. And with this one, we see Fushiguro, who has the ability to control Shikigami, fight Sukuna. This is after Yuji used Sukuna to defeat the cursed womb. And then Yuji's like severely hurt, so Sukuna takes over and kind of takes him hostage, rips out his heart. It's all gruesome and violent, I know. And then Fushiguro like tries to save Yuji. He summons Nue, which is like a bird creature, and Orochi, which is the great serpent. Like these are 2 Shikigami, which are like little spirits or deities that he can like summon to fight for him. Which is a cool way to fight, and especially since it's about curses and fighting and like things like that, I think that it's cool that we get to see a fighting style like that rather than the continuous fighting of like hand-to-hand combat. Different fighting styles in the show. They definitely show them. Sukuna easily overpowers Fushiguro, though, sadly, because, he's extremely powerful. But Fushiguro is talking about how he cares about Yuji and, like, not cares about him, but how he saved Yuji and he saves people unfairly because he's not a hero. He's just a shaman. He's just a jujutsu sorcerer. So he doesn't want to save everyone, but he wants to save the people that he wants to save, basically. And he's glad that he saved Yuji because Yuji's strong enough to fight for himself and help other people. So Yuji hears that and he kind of comes back to his senses and, passes out and is presumed dead. Yes. Pose. But yeah, let's check the chat. I feel like that was a good fight to bring up just for fun. Okay, awesome. We're doing good. Before we move on, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Anime Tea. I put out new videos every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I didn't put out a video this past week, but I am putting out this live stream video that will be available later on as well. So this is like a backup for it. I might be doing these instead. I don't know. Depends on likes and views and things like that. Let's move on to the third fight, which is Gojo versus Jogo. Again, my favorite fights are with Gojo, as I'm sure most people's are. He just has the coolest like he just looks cool. Plus his fighting style is fun. Plus seeing all of his like extra techniques is awesome. So let's move on to that. Boop, boop. Okay. But yeah, thanks for being patient with me. This is my first live stream. It's fun. It's a little scary, but I hope to do more of them. And if you like this kind of style, let me know because I will continue to do it. Let's go on to, I have too many screens open. This will, oh no, this, oh no, you guys can see the behind the scenes. Okay, there we go. So yes, Gojo versus Jogo, which is episode 7. I think I'm saying his name right. Is it Jogo? If Gojo's name is Gojo, then Jogo should be the same because they both had similar, like, they were both pronounced the same, or spelled the same. Anyway, Gojo gets attacked in the middle of the night by a talking cursed spirit named Jogo, who is a special grade spirit, and he's like, if all these special grade spirits keep coming up, then you guys aren't special. Like, yeah, like you guys need to calm down. And Jogo's like, whatever, bro, I'm here to kill you. So Jogo strikes first with 2 Ember attacks that Gojo reflects easily because he's Gojo. And Gojo explains the infinity between the infinity like around him, and basically how there's infinity that exists around him, and nothing can touch him. Basically, he's literally untouchable. Gojo's untouchable. Best boy. Yes, so he puts his hand up and has Jogo test it, and he's like not able to touch him. Yeah, so Gojo forces Jogo onto the lake using the cursed, what's it called? Cursed technique reversal red, and goes to grab Yuji real quick. Like he literally throws the curse onto the lake and then dips for like a couple seconds. Goes to grab Yuji, who's like training in the basement, watching movies, trying to control his like his curse power, and curse energy, and then brings it back so he can show him like the crux of how to fight, like a Jujutsu battle. Sorry if I hit the mic too much. Let me move it away. Yeah, to fight a Jujutsu battle. So, yeah, Jogo uses domain expansion, which is like an ultimate move. I don't know if I have. Oops, no, I don't. Okay, yeah, Jogo uses domain expansion, which is like an ultimate move. Basically means it increases the user's abilities while using the user's initial techniques. So whatever kind of powers that they manifest is expanded in the domain expansion. But it's only a certain area of that this power is like increased at, if that makes sense. So it's like a surrounding area, like a bubble of extreme power for the user. So Jogo creates that. And while he does that, Gojo's explaining to him very calmly while all this is going on, because Gojo's already determined that Jogo's super weak. He explains to Yuji that it can be repelled by using a curse technique or escaping the domain, neither of which are recommended because using curse technique within the other domain is going to be weaker than the person who has created the domain. And also trying to escape out of it is usually really hard because inside of the domain is usually stronger than the exterior of the domain, which we'll get into in one of the later fights. But Gojo says that the most effective way to get out is actually to cast his own domain, which I will show now. Boop, boop, boop. But yeah, let me know how you guys are doing. I'm looking at the wrong screen. That's great. I'm just having a great time. There we go. Okay, so switch to Gojo being awesome, and as usual. Yes. Okay. Bring up this. Yes. Okay. So Gojo explains to Yuji can be repelled by also casting your own domain, which Gojo does. Gojo uses domain expansion Unlimited Void, which is the best domain expansion by far. Well, at least that we know of so far. We haven't seen too many of them yet. This is actually the first time we see domain expansion in Jujutsu Kaisen. The first time we see it used. So he uses domain expansion, Unlimited Void. It's very effective. He removes his blindfold, Jesus, which has something to do with the strength of the domain, specifically his domain, but it's not really revealed in the anime yet why taking off his blindfold or wearing a blindfold is necessary for Gojo yet. So I don't know for sure. There's other videos on it, but I think that they have manga spoilers. So look into that if you want. But yeah, he traps Jojo in space. He feeds him overwhelming universal information, and he paralyzes him. Like, what kind of power is this? Like, Gojo is God. Like, what? Yeah, it's crazy. If you've ever seen Children of the Sea, there's a scene where it's like super universal and crazy looking and stuff like that. I feel like they used that same scene for this and like took over Jogo's mind, paralyzes him, and yeah. Yeah, it's just insane. Gojo's power is absolutely insane. Go back to this. Find a better way to do this eventually. Boom. Okay, yeah. So this is my favorite scene where Gojo is holding Jogo's head and holding Yuji in his arm, in his other arm. He's like, "You're weak. I got you. You're done. You're paralyzed. Like, you're out. We're through." And that is it. So let me check the chat real quick, see if anyone's doing okay. Okay, good. We're still going to keep going. But yeah, moving on to the fourth and final fight that we're going to talk about today. It is... Oop, that's a spoiler. It is Mahito versus Yuji and Nanami, which is episode 13. I'll skip over to that slide. Yeah, and this is one of my favorite fights as well. That has something to do with Gojo, surprisingly. But it has Nanami in it, so that's probably why, because Nanami is like my second favorite character. And then Yuji. So yes, after Mahito uses Yuji's friend Junpei, rest in peace Junpei. Oops, this is Junpei. This is the lie that Mappa sold us, and the author of Jujutsu Kaisen sold us the scene of them being happy. It doesn't exist in real life. Anyway, Yuji and Nanami faced off against Mahito at Junpei's school. Nanami reveals that his attacks don't really work on Mahito. When he was fighting him before, they weren't really working. But Yuji's attacks do. So they kind of come up with the kind of technique to corner him. Corner him and take over and try to like take him down. Repeat. And yeah, okay. So what's his name? Mahito kind of runs circles around them at first because he's crazy. He uses idol transfiguration, which is basically turning people and souls into really small objects and then being able to transform them at will into anything, into any size almost. I guess not any size because there haven't been like a super huge idol transfiguration thing, but into like multiple sizes and multiple things. So he's been using that against them. And then skip real quick to this video. And while he's thinking that he's, running the show, Yuji and Nanami have been planning how to actually take him out, and they figure out Mahito's tricks is to overwhelm him. They figure out his plan, they overwhelm him, and they almost beat him to death. Cue Nuck if you buck. Thank you. But Mahito gets some sick satisfaction or like inspiration or some weird crap because, he's crazy. He's literally a curse from like having the crap beat out of him, and he's able to activate his domain for the first time because he's a really young curse. He doesn't have a lot of experience. He was never able to do it before, but he's able to now because of this fight, because he was kind of pushed to his limit. So his main expansion is called Self-Embodiment of Perfection, and he traps Nanami inside. And Nanami like notices the inside of his domain and is like, yeah, I have no way of getting out here. Like it's it's like so powerful that he has a whole flashback on his life. Um, which at the time when I was watching, I didn't realize. I was like, oh shoot, he is like resolved to die. So I was a little sad about that. But he doesn't, because Yuji breaks through. Another handy little tip he learned from Gojo that we didn't really get explained in the episode where Gojo and Jogo were fighting. It was kind of like shown later on during this part. But he also mentioned that another way to break the domain was to attack from the outside if the domain was really, really strong on the inside. So Yuji's able to break in from the outside. Mahito's domain is really strong on the inside because he's trying to like take Nanami out. Like he doesn't really know how to control himself, I feel like, also. So yeah, he messed up, and Yuji takes out his domain. And while Yuji's taking out his domain, he gets attacked by, well, not attacked, but he kind of touches Sukuna's soul. And bad things happen because Sukuna's like, I thought I told you need to calm down. Like, you're not all that. Get out of my domain, and calm yourself and get out of my sight. And basically rips him to shreds. It's great because Sukuna is great, as well as very terrifying, as he should be. But yeah, it's like a very iconic scene. Let me play it. But yeah, basically rips his domain to shreds, rips him to shreds. Sukuna's like, yeah, he didn't even have to actually fight in this episode, but he was the one who actually took down Mahito. Yeah. And Mahito barely escapes with his life, but he still does because, he's a curse, and I guess the creators wanted to see more of him, so he's coming back. But yeah, let me switch back to this. That is it for this quick breakdown / explanation of 4 of the major fights from Jujutsu Kaisen. Let me check the chat really quick. We're still good. All right. This will be the end of my first live stream. Let me know in the comments if you want more of them. If you prefer the live streams over my other videos, let me know. And I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to turn on notifications and check out videos every Saturday at 12 p.m. 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's where I moved to now. For more recommendations, explanations, and recap videos on some of your favorite anime. My name is Phoenix. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!